Hello again, this is Adam Cinema with Success in Fundraising. And we're going to talk a little bit about order entry. And so you've cruised through your fundraiser. You have a pretty good idea that you've done really well, of course, but now we need to get all the orders in. You probably have a big stack of papers and possibly some online orders. So you have these two piles of stuff that we need to get aggregated together. Thankfully, we have My Fundraising Place, your group leader portal, to manage all of that. So in the dashboard, there's I think it's called order entry, but you go into or manage orders perhaps, but you hit the button and you go, and there's a grid. And so within this grid, it may have a list of names. If you're using the online store, it will have a list of names. And so you can navigate that list because there's a search bar right at the top. So if you have more than 10 sellers, it makes it easier. But you can use that search bar to find the name. If you don't find the name, you hit the add new name and you add your name and the totals for each one for the paper order forms. But if you find the name of the seller who's sold online, all you do is you add the paper to the online orders. That way they get stuck together and we deliver them all together. And it's a good reminder because sometimes it seems like a lot of extra work. Why don't you just tell us how many total you need? Well, I was just talking to somebody and they were really excited because we're like, well, we do that because we pre-sort it. And so we will have it all pre-sorted and we want it to be as organized as possible before we arrive, because that way we can just line up your sellers, usually alphabetical by last name. If it's a large group, we'll subdivide by teachers, but we'll line them all up, and then in probably 20 minutes, you'll have it all organized. So no sorting or any of that on your side. So that's why we're going through that effort now. And so now you can do it at the leisure of your desk, having a cup of coffee or whatever at the end of the day, but something to relaxing, hopefully. And that's what this process is. And the tone of this short video is too, is we hope that as you go diving into it, it does not become stressful. We want this to be as easy as possible. And so with that in mind, I would encourage you, if you start trying to enter a few orders and you feel like you're having some issues or you have a quick question, definitely feel free to call us. If it's something bigger and you're really not understanding it and it's the middle of the night, maybe it would be wiser to schedule a few minutes the next day or wait the next day and give us a call. We know that this time of the season, it feels like more of a sense of urgency, but we really don't want you to feel the pressure and the stress of having to figure it out on your own. If it's not intuitive, if feel like you're not getting what you're wanting out of it, don't be afraid to call us. And generally, I'll answer my cell phone most anytime or watch the messages. So we want you to be successful. We don't want you to struggle through this, and certainly don't want you stressed out over this part of the process. And so the nice thing too, and another reason why we're doing this, on that order entry page, there's 3 dots at the top right, and it looks like a few more choices, and eventually the invoice will be there. There's also the online sales, it's called the seller report, and that'll be downloadable in there, as well as the grid. So the whole grid can be exported into another document. It will be exported in a way that just a few more calculations can tell you profit per seller, which is without any trouble. Especially, it can get complicated with sales tax for a couple states, and so keep that in mind. All that information is there. You don't have to figure it all out on your own. Definitely reach out if you have questions. So hopefully it all goes well for you, and we'll talk to you next time.